boys and girls. Malik here. What a wonderful Saturday for some Overwatch. Guys, it is going to be quite the exciting day. And I cannot begin to tell you about how exciting these matches are getting ready to be. Anyways, guys, later on today, we have the Houston Outlaws going up. Got some Houston Outlaws fans here. Going up against the Boston Uprising in a rematch of our Stage 1 title match with the NYXL taking on the London Spitfire. That's going to be crazy. But we're starting off today with a good one. We have the Florida Mayhem going up against the Philadelphia Fusion. Now, as you all know, the Philadelphia Fusion were our runner-ups for our Stage 2 title match. But they suffered a loss at the hands of the Boston Uprising earlier this week, and they're going to be looking to get their footing back in this matchup. As far as the Florida Mayhem go, though, they showed us a new marksman in their lineup earlier this week. We got to see mayhem do his thing on Route 66 as Widowmaker, which means there's potential for some mayhem and Carpe duels, which has me pretty much excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for that. Also, we have another packed day here at the Blizzard Arena, the most attractive crowd of esports, if I might say so myself. You guys ready for today? I love the energy. All right, well, with that, guys, why don't we go ahead and get this payload moving?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys feeling out there? It's Saturday. Yes, we're here in the Blizzard Arena. We're closing out week 1 of Stage 3. I'm your host, Puckett, and I've got the desk with me today. As always, we got Reinforced alongside Sideshow. And guys, today we are in for another treat. 5 of the top 6 teams.
It is so good. How much coffee have you had this morning, Puckett?
Not enough.
You are so energized.
I'm freaking jacked up. You know why, Johnny? Look at these standings. Here we are overall in the league so far. Past that 50-yard line, we're into Stage 3, and we're coming down to the last 18 matches per team. Now, we see New York, London at the top, but the real story for me is that team in the groups 4 through 8.
I mean, it is the mid-table all about today. We got Boston, Houston, Philadelphia all playing today. And they, you know, they want to be able to compete for a playoff spot later this season, of course, and actually compete for their division, of course, the Pacific and Atlantic.
Let's take a look at our Stage 3 Sideshow. How are things shaping up here in our first week?
Well, LA Valiant up at the top there, and a couple of names you wouldn't expect down at the bottom. London Spitfire and Philadelphia Fusion. We'll get to see both of those teams today, and we expect them to start moving up the standings as the stage progresses.
Florida Mayhem also chasing their first win, and they'll get a chance to do it against the Fusion to open things up. I gotta ask, which matchup are you guys most fired up for, though? Because we got 3 good ones.
I mean, it is the New York Excelsior versus the London Spitfire, of course, but we got some good games in between pockets, so let's get started.
Awesome crowd here in the venue. Are you guys ready to meet our teams? Let's get into the action here, starting with the Philadelphia Fusion. Now, this squad, they shocked everybody. They went all the way to the Stage 2 finals. They were up 2-0 over the New York XL, but then they got reverse swept. Now in Stage 3, we see them going up against Boston in our first day, and they go to a Game 5. They lose it. Back-to-back match losses in series you thought they were going to win. What's going on with this squad?
Yeah, Philadelphia Fusion are definitely a great team, and they need to keep up this momentum from Stage 2. And this is a match that, in my opinion, they can't afford to lose. Yes, against Boston they lost, but there's 2 major caveats. A really bad map pool for them, having to play in the strengths of Boston, and they were missing their star player, EQO, who's been looking so good for them and allows them to play this Genji Tracer style that has been so great.
And they're still missing EQO for 2 more games, so they put in Snillo instead to replace him, playing alongside Carpe. But then Carpe, his Genji is decent, I suppose, but it's not top-notch, you know, is it Overwatch League capable? So we'll see him most likely on the Widowmaker. But he can do stuff like this, right? We saw him pop off versus the Boston Uprising. So clutch in this final 4th map, going into Game 5, of course. So we need Carpe to really turn up today and really carry Philadelphia forward.
I could have used Carpe in my games earlier today. Sancho, we got wrecked on Kings Road. The Widowmaker, so nice in the hands of Carpe, but we got to talk about the sniper we may see on the other side of the stage. Florida Mayhem has staffed up their roster. They've brought in Zappis, but they've also added Awesome Guy and Saya Player. And on Wednesday, we got a chance to see Saya Player for the first time.
Yeah, and he was excellent, actually, when he pulled out the Widowmaker, which makes me so hyped for these Saya Player versus Carpe duels. Saya Player adds a lot of individual talent, and they compare him alongside Fig. They compare him alongside Logix, as you see here on Route 66, and they get a lot of value out of him. They're playing kind of similar styles between these 2 teams, and a lot of individual mutual skill. So the sparks are definitely going to be flying.
Yeah,
I think this is the most Florida Mayhem fans we've ever had in an audience. With every snipe, this crowd is getting fired up.
Who's not a fan of that, Puckett? Come on, that Widowmaker play is so sick. And it needs to turn up today as well. When I spoke with Florida, they said that Saya player, he's more of a creative Widowmaker, so he goes on these off angles a bit and tries to get some nice picks. Logix himself is a very capable Widowmaker, but Saya player, so far, he's looked so good, and he is going to be the counter to Carpe if you win this series.
And of course, you can put Logix back on the Tracer with Saya player in the mix on that Widow. So let's get to the official predictions, because if you look at the standings, Fusion's up here, Florida's down here, but both teams with a loss to open up stage 3.
Yeah, and I think you really have to look at the standings, and you see that there's a big difference between these two teams. When you went into stage 2 and saw the results at the end, Philadelphia Fusion make it to the finals. Florida Mayhem end in 10th place. So I've got to go with the favorite here. It's going to be Philadelphia Fusion, even without EQO, I think.
Philadelphia Fusion is the call from Sideshow. All right, Johnny, where are you going with this one? I know you love the boys from Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Philadelphia is the obvious favorite in this matchup. But
Come off it.
I can see the upset happening. It would be an upset, okay? It would be an upset, but I can see the Florida Mayhem taking this one. Saya player beating down Carpe. No Genji available for Philadelphia Fusion. The Sombra from Twix, the Genji. I can see the upset happening.
Wait. Last show, you told me Carpe was the greatest player in Overwatch right now. Today,
but
you say Saya player gets the better of him?
It's not just about Widowmaker. It's about all of Carpe's heroes. But the Widowmaker, Saya player is sick.
I like where you're going. All right, we got it split here on the desk. We got to hear from the crowd. Make some noise as we intro our teams. Coming out first, it's the Florida Mayhem. So many fans in the audience today, including my good buddy Fred. Fred drove 2,048 miles from Pensacola, Florida to watch his team. There he is on the main stage welcoming in the Mayhem.
I mean, they better win for this guy right here, right? I mean, what a commitment.
Yeah!
I'm going to be honest, if they pick Symmetra, they might not have as much of a chance of beating the Philadelphia
Can I
Fusion.
surrender my prediction if Florida picks Symmetra? I think I have the right to do so.
I feel like it's an instant win if we see Sim for the first time here in Stage 3.
But the Florida Mayhem have still got things to work on. This is what I really want to focus on here, because it would be a massive upset if they were able to take this. They're still integrating the new players into the lineup. Saya player's only been here for, what, a week and a half perhaps, integrating with the new team. They don't even have their main tank. This is still a team that's building.
But to me, that means you have a lot more consistent shot calling, because if Saya player, he just needs to pop heads, and then you can have Sebosai and Swoosh doing the majority of the shot calling. So I think overall this team is developing more and more each week. And sure, I'm still gonna say it, beating Philadelphia would be an upset, but they are on the rise.
Saya player is getting so much love already. Just his second match here on the Overwatch League main stage. This look at the starting six to Vic and Saya player on DPS. You got Swoosh and Bandit in your tanks, and of course Zebasai and Zuppe on support. On the other side of the stage, though, it's time to find out who is Philly fielding. Please welcome the Philadelphia Fusion. Philadelphia 13-8 overall. They're trying to climb into the top four, trying to get into the big three eventually, and this squad did it at the end of stage 2.
And looking at the faces of these players, I mean, we saw Neptuno, right? We've had some history of players not being happy with our predictions. Looked like Neptuno was ready for revenge on me for predicting against them.
Yeah, you're going to create an effect-like performance where he just gets angry and kills everybody.
He is a dangerous
1,000 mercy kills. That's what I want to see today. Now, you talked about Neptuno, dangerous on the Lucio, one of the most aggressive support players, but if you're the Florida Mayhem, who is the biggest threat to your game today?
Well, it has to be Carpe, right? Snillo, I think, is a very good tracer, but then you have so many good tracer players on Florida as well. So I think the standout performance has to come from Carpe.
So I'm going to slightly disagree with you, because I think Carpe is the obvious threat, but Fraggy and Snello have really impressed me with how well they're working as a duo, and I still think there are some weaknesses in the Florida backline. So if Florida are not careful, Zebasai and Zuppe are going to get eaten alive by this kid on your screen. Snello is going to go wild.
Captain One Clip, man, he was shredding everybody earlier in the week. Will they be able to get the win today? We're about to find out the starting six from Philadelphia Fusion on the main stage. Keep your eyes on Fraggy and Poco as well. Some of the most exciting tanks in the game, especially if we see a Reinhardt. The match is ready. Are you guys ready to get this party started? Make some noise, Blizzard Arena. It's time to send it to our casters. We got Semler with Hex.
Thank you so much, Pocket. And it is going to be the first match of the day here, Saturday. Hex, are you hyped? It's the last day of matches this week.
Yeah, we got some really good matches today, too. You and I in particular, we got this one going on. I think it's going to be very close. And, of course, the finale of tonight is going to be New York and London, which is just the premier Overwatch League matchup. This one should be good, though. Florida's got some new players. I almost did Miami right away. Just get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. Now it's out.
The
Good.
Florida Mayhem have been playing much better. They've got some new players on that squad, and Philly always plays everybody close. Even when Philly loses, they lose in 2-3, something like that. Was the recent matchup against Boston. And they were, you know, it was a tough one against Boston because they had to play on Volskaya, and that's Boston's like best map. Kind of struggling a little bit here, and man, I'm just really excited to watch Sai player in person here. He just went absolutely off. It's a forced DPS that they need, and I really want to see how Florida works in, like, when does he play with Tavik? When does he play with Logix?
I'm just thinking of when we walked into the office the other day and Bren was playing a custom headshot Widow match and Saya player was in the server.
That's right,
And
yeah.
Bren's got like 10 kills struggling, and then all of a sudden Saya player like 40 kills just wrecking everybody. It's like, oh yeah, that's the difference between a cash noob and a pro, one of the best players in the world.
To
There
be fair, that was Bren, right? So it could have been anything. I'm surprised Bren had double digits during that matchup there. But yeah, a lot of Widowmaker is going to come down, especially when we roll into Volskaya here. Volskaya, first point, has been all about the Widows. What Florida has done so well lately is they're getting kills in a place that the rest of the team can camp on it. So they get an opening kill, and it wasn't Sai player, it was Logix before, and then everyone's on that body. You're not coming back from that one, and that's what they've really focused on. They have a lot of interesting strategies here on when they push in second point, but let's get to first point first. It's going to be some Widow battles.
Let's get to the first point here that I want to discuss, Hex, and that is that Tavik is in the server instead of Logix. Now, I've been a bit of an outspoken Logix fan, and I really do stand by the fact that Florida just seems to perform better when they've got Logix on the server. He's just always delivering these days.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, okay, you've got Sire player. Tavik, though, is it going to hold them back that they don't have Logix in there right now hitting those shots?
Maybe. Tavik can run a serviceable Tracer if they want to, but I think Tavik is in here to run a Sombra that he switches to often, and even when they are down to their last push and they're not going to get ultimates, Tavik can run a Genji for you. He just adds a little bit of versatility, whereas Saya and Logix have similar hero pools, and they're good hero pools for maps. I think on Route 66 we'll probably see Logix and Saya when we get there. But Tavik will offer that versatility of a Sombra play, of a Genji.
All right, well, we'll see how it pans out. Not wasting any time at all here, Florida. You see some teams as they move into Volskaya on the offense, they take their time, they kind of peek and poke about, you know, make sure that they got their invitation and that they brought the bottle of wine. No, Florida, man, they just party crash, man. They go right through the front door, they don't wait.
Trying to get in here over Pack Room right now. Tavik will dance in and out. He is on that Tracer for the moment. It's been relatively quiet from both Widows, playing very passively. Sai is all alone on the opposing high ground, so Carpe's got to be careful, stay out of that sight line.
Snow getting chased away already to start. Carpe in the back line has been spotted, and Carpe finds the kill on Swoosh. Saya player takes a few orbs to the face, and he gets picked immediately by Snillo. Great follow-up there from Snillo, not letting Saya player get topped up again.
Well, it's the peak. Not only do you take the Orbs of Destruction, but you're taking the Orb of Discord too, and so now your position is completely given up, and it's very easy for Snillo to get in there and clean that one up. They do get Neptuno, though, on this pushback, and the walk back for support's so long that you have to think that it's in Florida's favor.
With the Valk going as well, Tavik does get picked by Carpe, so unfortunately for him, he's out of this fight. Carpe means that he can go for the pick, and yes, that is going to open the door now for Carpe to just start taking pot shots at these guys on the point itself. Good bubble there, dropped by Swoosh to protect the res, and so Tavik is back into this fight, but there is a chance here for Philly, until, of course, they once again lose their back line.
Yeah, Boombox going down to Swoosh is absolutely huge there, and this is just a donation into the Human Fund right now. However, they do look like they have designs to come back in here. A nice stall out, they get both tanks, and they're getting all the healing they need from Mercy over top.
There it is. They do manage to get Boombox back in, and now there's the trance as well. Philadelphia Fusion definitely not going to give up this point for free. Now it's about the staying power here for Florida Mayhem. Tick going toe-to-toe with Carpe, and he will lose out to Snillo at the end. 3 players there for Philadelphia Fusion. Gonna end him.
A really nice collapse there, because generally that's a fight that a Tracer should win. And granted, if you can just dodge a single headshot there, you should be able to clip them off. Not the case there. Gets all the backup from his team, and such a great stall from Poco coming in there late. Then Fraggy came down to help him out. Didn't even have to pop Primal Rage when he jumped in there. So really nice coordination on the stall. Teams have gotten so much better following the style of New York, who started off in stage 1 doing it the best.
Zebo dropping dangerously low, but the chance is there to keep him alive. Zupe just throwing it in, opening up with that Zenyatta ultimate. Now Fraggy gonna get in here and cut Zebasai off from the rest of his team. No longer a Mercy there to heal, and Tvik gets caught in the meantime by Carpe.
As good as a kill right there. Mercy's out of the fight. It doesn't matter if she's in spawn or she's a mile away. They will clean that up eventually, and I do not see Florida being able to get back into this one this time around either. They're going to have to reset here. Sai is nearing Infrasight, and they will have wings up again. So a small ultimate advantage support-wise goes over to the side of Florida. We're under a minute here, similar.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten whittled down here, Florida Mayhem. You can tell by the little notch there in the 3rd tick, they've come close. Now it's about picking up the remaining tick, and they've got one more good push here. Zebasai has got the Valk, so they will have that healing. Wouldn't be surprised to see him just pop the wings to start this fight off, as Swoosh gets headshot already. Swoosh getting top back up again, though. Now they've moved together as this unit. Tvik trying to get in here to try and find an angle, but it's on Carpe right now. So long as he stays high and on this line, so long as he doesn't get picked by Saya, things are looking pretty good here for the Philadelphia Fusion.
Yeah, there's that Valk preemptively, but Poco will go down immediately to Manitin. An insta-raz right there, still in full fighting force. A huge pulse bomb into the backline on Zupe. See if they can get there. No, both supports down for Florida. That has been the bane of their existence all throughout the Overwatch League, and it strikes again.
And Swoosh, he goes in. He's trying to focus Carpe, but not going to find that. Instead, it will be a good collapse there by Philadelphia Fusion, working together. Manitin just chucking out that self-destruct, and Swoosh trying to set up shop, but he's so low on HP, his healer's not going to make it back in time. Zebasai even switching to the Lucio just to try and taxi them in, but it's not going to be good enough. Zupe will get squashed, and overtime burns out. Philadelphia Fusion with the hard hold on point A.
It was so important for Zebasai to pop his Valkyrie early, because he has a tendency to die in the opening of these fights. So you use that Valkyrie on the ground. I thought he may even waited too long. He gave the opposing Widow a shot at him, pop that, and then they end up losing the supports on the ground. 85% on that Transcendence too. A little bit brutal to lose that, and that's something that still has been a problem for Florida. All the way back to stage 1, you can't lose your supports as early as they do, as consistently as they do. Not sure what the answer is. Maybe the tanks stay a little further back, but then you're not pressuring the other back line.
Yeah, if you don't have Saya player winning that duel hands down versus Carpe, then you see Swoosh trying to make the play. He's trying to jump in there, and then you don't have that big beefy tank there to watch the back line anymore. Things start falling apart.
Carpe played that very passively too. He was staying out of sight lines, not really even trying to take the Widow duel, just trying to engage when he was safe to add in the extra damage on the tanks, to pressure down supports as well. And at a certain time, Florida, the supports have to protect themselves. You see all the top end teams, the supports, they're all alone, they're together, but they're killing people and they're protecting themselves. They don't die to those leap-ins. So I don't know if Zebo and Zupe need to just boot camp together a little bit, keep each other alive a little longer.
Well, now we go into it 40 seconds before we get into the action, as Philadelphia Fusion will be swapping over to the offensive side. Florida Mayhem, bit of a change in strategy here for them. Going to have the Orisa with the shield here, and Manitin rocking the Roadhog. I like it. A little bit of variety.
It's just kind of the composition that they do when they know that they have to have a full hold. It has not worked out well for teams in the past to do this, because you're locking down that static point, and that's where the dive is going to come in. It actually wouldn't stun me to see Carpe switch off of the Widow once he notices the Orisa, depending on if they're playing around it well enough, because Widow against an Orisa shield, it's never going to happen. So you can just switch over to a Genji, do the pure dive, one of the best counters to Orisa, but that's also why Manitin's back there. One of the most underrated Roadhogs in all of the league. We'll see if he can hit hooks.
Yeah, that's all about him going fishing and not throwing them back. There we go, the spot. Fraggy calmed it. Looking like Carpe's going to stay on the Widow for now, at least. Looks like Side Player managed to get him with a body shot there, dropped it fairly low, but now Carpe waiting for the hook to come back online here for him to have that mobility.
He might have to go for a really aggressive play to try to volley himself up in the air and come at an angle over the top. He will sneak around the corner. That's going to cause Florida to reposition the shield.
He did exactly what you're talking about there, Hex. Oh, spots outside, not going to connect with the shot, and instead just decides to change it up completely, following up with Snillo, who was going for a bit of the poke there on the high ground. That could make things a little awkward. Carpe's got the eyes on Tvik as well, and that's going to open it up here for Fraggy to take a peek. Tvik taking the body shot as well, will survive though.
Force out the recall, then Snillo's time to go and deal with it now that he knows that he's got the upper hand in the Tracer duel. Smart play there by Tvik to go back to his team, knowing that there's no way he can try to take this without his cooldowns.
Well, eventually they're going to have to get in here, and it's looking like it is going to be the Winston to lead the way. Mass tasing on everybody, and Snillo there for the cleanup as well. Bannerton dropping dangerously low. Post bomb is going to cut him in half, and Philadelphia Fusion now with a fantastic situation on their hands.
They should be able to clean up Zevo. They do just that, and it all goes back to that single body shot that forces Tvik to recall. That means that Tvik cannot pressure Snillo out enough, who's just lurking up there waiting for it. That means he's in position for that Winston dive. This should be Philadelphia cleaning it up easily.
Yeah, perfect take. The patience, the slow, relentless aspect of their offensive game, and Philadelphia Fusion carry the first map in record time.
It was the only way he was going to get a shot up there is if anyone was off, not behind the shield. There's only about a foot difference, so if you're up and down the stairs, maybe your ankle gets clipped, but hitting that one shot on Tvik changed absolutely everything. Just modifying the cooldown structure, allowing their own Tracer to play safe up there, wait for the dive to come in, and the cleanup absolutely there. A great start for Philadelphia. That's a long way to drive, but I respect it to pick up, go and pick Sim.
Yeah, no, I like it as well. All right, we'll be back after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Great focus fire coming in here for Florida Mayhem. They are calling their targets and they're dropping them like sandbags left and right.
It's crunch time for the Philadelphia Fusion. Poco cops one in midair. Guess who's getting loud?
And Florida Mayhem right on the edge now of making it happen. Carpe is eviscerating the back line right now.
Are you kidding me?
He's gonna get to chop him to bits.
Hello, welcome back. This is Zoe, and the Philadelphia Fusion is currently 1-0 up against the Mayhem. The discussed this at the beginning of the show. They did mention once again that EQO is still missing. One of the star players for Fusion is not on the stage today. And of course, before the Fusion walked out, I talked to their EQO's teammates about this and asked if they felt the lack of EQO in their match earlier this week against Boston. And they said that, of course, with Snillo and Carpe and Shadowburn, they have plenty of talent in their lineup. However, EQO was missed. And mainly because of the comps. Something we, as the outsiders and as the viewers, probably don't really know is what is going on during the team fights. And EQO is one of the people who's actually laying it all out for his team. He's the one who's giving his teammates the broad spectrum of what he wants to go down during a team fight, and the team facilitates around him. So that was a bit of an issue when they played against Boston. So far, they're looking really strong against the Mayhem, so let's see if they can keep it up on map number 2. And for that, we're handing it back to Semler and Hex.
Thank you, Zoe. All right, so there we have it.
Yeah.
In terms of EQO not being in it, you can definitely tell it hurts them in their comps, but you couldn't tell watching Vizcaya there. I mean, Philadelphia Fusion did it pretty clean.
Philadelphia's got an embarrassment of riches. It's like, you know, hey, having an NFL team where your backup wins the Super Bowl. You know, they're kind of following that model right there. So when EQO first came in, we're like, well, Shadowburn's so good. They're like, oh, this EQO guy's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's out. You could always bring Shadowburn back in. Snillo, nothing to sneeze at either. A very good player. So
Apart from his walkouts.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did step it up. Marching band, little Rocky walkout, got pretty good going the other day. So Snillo's definitely stepped his game up in a lot of different aspects. Logix will come in for Saya player here as we go over to Numbani. My speculation is that Numbani is so difficult to push first, and we already saw Florida struggle with it just a first on Volskaya there, that you need the coordination. So this is the core squad that's been working together for a long time. They have a plan, and maybe just not the place to integrate Saya into the mix. Also, not a very good Widow map overall. And Saya's been crushing on the Widow. Not sure how well-rounded his pool is, but this makes a lot of sense. You got to take this map. If this one ends up being very important on Route 66, that is the map that Philadelphia is very good at and Florida struggles at. On these two maps, they have similar win rates, and they're not good for either team.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so coming into this map, it could be a bit of a brawl. I'm glad to see Logix back into it, though, because he can play that soldier. He can excel on it. And so this is still a soldier map. You get up on those balconies, you play that high ground, you chuck Helix rockets at people, and they all die. Logic's pretty good at making them die, too.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see a Widow on first. You'll see a lot in ladder that Widow can be played on first. It's because of those sight lines, but it's not like the best of it. I think that if Philly wants to do well on their offense when it comes to that point in time, that a full dive would be necessary to really try to work that out. You put, you got Tvik on Genji, you put Logix on Tracer, and you just run it that way, try to go up over the top. So we'll see what these teams want to run. I am excited to see Logix on Soldier 76, though. He's had some great performances on that hero.
Although he could decide to mess with you just a little bit.
He's not, no. This is just Spawn messing. Yeah, Logix is just going to shoot rockets at his feet. No rocket jumping, because that's too dangerous. They got rid of rocket jumping altogether. Just put a jetpack on it instead.
I know, right? Who needs skill after all?
Hey, come on. There's a skill to hitting shift. Got to hit at the right time.
You hit bridge to rail, and you come back and talk to me, Hex, okay?
All right, fair enough, fair enough. All right, so defensively, it does seem like they are going to run Carpe on the Widowmaker. They really don't run like a 76 on this team too often, so it is going to be the Widow Tracer, which is so in vogue at this point in time. Of course, adding a Mercy into the mix for damage boost, but more importantly, if you lose one, you don't have to worry about it. Get that Resurrection. Offensively, they are going to run Tvik on the Genji, and Logix will be playing Soldier 76. So you have to imagine they're going to try to get him entrenched in some sort of high ground, perhaps right up the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. We usually see that right up the stairs, and then you got that he's in delayed as well. Once Fraggy gets forced off of there, Fraggy right now is the one who's holding point blank, but exactly, there we go. Point blank, Helix rocket from Logix is going to force Fraggy to back off and allow his healers to top him back up again.
I really like the split that they've got. It's just Logix and Zube up top, and they're going to be squatting up together, and then the rest of the team is trying to pressure up bridge. They are waiting for Logix to get good entrance, though. It can be very difficult. Yeah, exactly. You get the Discord in there, Logix with the burst. Fraggy's out of this fight already, and that's an unresable spot.
Yeah, he is so deep right now that they're going to play this fairly passively here. Philadelphia Fusion, wait for him to get back into this fight. And I like it here from Florida Mayhem. Logix really playing this angle, making it difficult here for Philadelphia Fusion to find that pick. It's looking like maybe they're going to change it up, however, as Chavik gets caught by Poco.
Yeah, they needed to capitalize on it a little bit quicker, lacking the killer instinct there because they had a 6v5, but they were so worried about the sightlines that they stayed back into it. Lost one, that resurrection is burned. Now they've got all 6 up again in the position that they want. They're going to, looks like they want to just walk right up Broad Street. That's what they'll do.
Yeah, Chavik not too far off that Dragon Blade. Going to try and farm that up real quick. Self-destruct goes down. Chavik getting out of there. Oh no, Swoosh getting picked up by the self-destruct. How does that happen? Big play there from Poco, delivering one, but Logix will be there with the tack visor as well. Finds Fraggy, looking for some squishies, but he takes a volley to the face. Boombox will end him, and it's looking like that's going to be the end of this push.
That is vintage Boombox right there with the chin music to close out the fight. Knocks him completely down, and again, Florida will have to go back to the drawing board on offense. This time around, they are going to try to do their own Widow. It's the best counter to a Widow is a Widow. And they do have Dragon Blade as well. So I think they want to try to at least scare Carpe off the point, get on the point, maybe fight in the Transcendence. We'll see which they also have available.
Carpe going to spot out Logix. Might have seen that there was a change made. And he's holding that back balcony spawn, another popular Soldier 76 position to play from. They're going to go charging straight up here. The tank's trying to take over that high ground with the help of Tvik. Looking for a squishy target, not quite going to find it though. They're too good here. Philadelphia Fusion, too quick to back off. And Snillo forcing out that Transupe. He's the only hero left as Zebasai gets picked off by Carpe. And again, Florida Mayhem here caught on the back foot.
As Zebasai dies first in this fight, it has been an issue that Florida has yet to rectify here. Support's now alone, and that is a short life for Zube. Snillo cleaning it up in a very late and somewhat questionable blade from Tvik.
Yeah, exactly, because you got that chance there to stop it. 2 kills, but still, Neptuno will bring Carpe back into it, denying that one from Maniton. And we still have Poco alive here to just contest on this point, continue to burn time off the clock. Needs to get in here, though. Needs to make sure that his tanks, exactly, his follow-up is there. Fraggy is there to back him up, and the self-destruct as well. Going to make it a little bit difficult here for Florida to get that lockdown going.
Yeah, Swoosh Primal Rage. Now they bought enough time that the reinforcement should finally be here. The long walk from the offensive spawn has come back to fruition on this point. The next kill is going to be absolutely crucial. Neptuno pops wings, though. Everyone was so low, but staying alive just briefly.
Oh. Clean shot there from Logix, makes it look easy. Finds the follow-up on Boombox as well, and the body shot on Carpe. Logix delivers. Neptuno nearly goes chucking himself into a pulse bomb. That got awkward, and he is not going to be long for this world either. Logix right now, he's on a tear, ripping him limb from limb. Florida Mayhem, despite a fantastic defensive setup there from Philadelphia Fusion, staggering their tanks onto the point, waiting for the reinforcements. Sometimes you just have a Widow that goes all out.
Thanks, Mr. Logix, for those headshots. Let's revisit that blade from Tvik there that was somewhat questionable there. Zoned a lot out, got a lot of people down, and probably forced that Transcend. I didn't see the order in which those were executed, though, but to get that ultimate out is huge. And then his tank line followed up. You Primal Rage on there, you buy the time to get Logix back into the mix. Absolutely huge, and I think you do have to go all out with ultimates when you're Florida because of how poorly your offenses have been on maps of this type.
No, Tvik's got another blade locked and loaded here. Quite a few ultimates about to come online for Florida Mayhem. They have 2 minutes here to push this cart to the second point. We'll see. I'm liking Philadelphia Fusion's aggression right now with this dime defense, just getting in there, trying to just crush Florida underfoot.
Well, this is a good area for the self-destruct. We might see Maniton pop it either this bend or the next. You can see a lot of enormous self-destructs. Tvik looking for it. Already used the dash. They're going to try to look for targets now. Deflex on cooldown as well. Doesn't find much here.
Forced the trance, though, so that could be something to work with here for Florida. As the trance is out, now that means Boombox going to throw his into the mix, make sure that his teammates survive. Fraggy gets caught by Logix, and that cart, all this time, making progress. So important here for Florida Mayhem to just keep that in mind, stay on the cart, and get every meter out of it you can.
They generally consider that a decent trade to force a Transcendence out. Then they use their own window of Transcendence to re-engage her. Snillo's still messing around in the back line. Has a pulse bomb. Hasn't really hit a big stick just yet, but there's a clump.
That's it. Money right there. Maniton gets dropped low as well. In the corner trying to fly his way out, but he will get demeched. And Tvik dangerously low himself, but he will get topped back up again.
Tvic's in a little bit of trouble. You never want to turn your back on another Tracer in those duels. You kind of just got to stay and fight and hope that you hit a miracle clip. Not going to be the case there. Snilla will shut this down. Now you hear it, 60 seconds remain for the Florida offense.
Not enough time to rally. They've just thrown quite a few of those ultimates into the mix.
Can have another blade. I mean, that's why Tvic's fine trading. He's been charging Dragon Blade so quickly.
Yeah, Boombox isn't really close to his trance either, so the obvious answer to that blade, not quite online here for Philadelphia Fusion.
I don't know, Boombox just has to hit one giant volley, which is kind of what he does to be able to get a Transcendence up. Blade ready to go. Tvic looking for the angle.
Should he get in there before Boombox gets that trance? 10% away here for Boombox. Valk is out, and there we go. Choppity chop, looking for him. He's gonna find one and two, but the trance comes online in the nick of time. Boombox the hero.
There was a time when Boombox was unquestionably the best Western Zenyatta, and we're seeing vintage Boombox today, from volleys to clutch damage to get that transcend, and this is lockout ultimate time. Snillo's got a pulse bomb as well, should they so need it. There's a big target for him, doesn't connect, but they are closing this one out. That is where the payload will stop.
Now, Zebasai gonna get picked. And overtime, burning down. We will have Logic chucking himself in there. Just a parting gift on Boombox, but it's not going to be enough here for Florida Mayhem. That is where the cart will halt for good. Round one complete. And well, we do have a moment here to listen to the comms of Florida when they did manage to take over point A.
Monkey.
Window main.
I'm there, Monkey. I'm gonna go.
Mock me, help. I need help. Main.
Can't help you. I'm on mark.
5v5.
Monkey low.
I'm on with you on Monkey.
Okay, I'm behind point. Yeah, I'm coming. Mercy point. Mercy Discord. Nice from me. Mercy 1 HP main. I can deal with main. Can you go forward? No re. Tracer no re. I'm ulting forward to it, Tvic.
Careful, Tvic. I'm bubbling.
Back in.
Nice.
Widow. Mercy no re. Going to back.
Coming back main. Almost back.
Main point.
Well, that's why I wanted to revisit it, just to see what was happening there, because you saw Tvic with the Dragon Blade late, but that's because they pushed them all the way back. And what that Dragon Blade does, I mean, look, it's not a joke zoning Blade. He was going for kills, obviously, because they got the Mercy so low. That was the call that you heard so important. She was flying away, discorded. Tvic wanted to dash in, got his Blade up, but then he pushed them all back into the self-destruct, and that self-destruct took out Carpe. So really nice coordination there. When you lose a player like Logix early on, it's a kind of a hard call. Do we continue fighting? Do we reset? But is it the right call there to start pumping in ults?
Yeah, just get it in there. Well, they were running out of time as well.
Yeah.
It's really like that desperate. Backs to the wall. Throw everything in there, boys, because we got to get something out of this, or this map, this offense is over. So yet again, Florida, they were able to make it happen, unlike on Volskaya.
And it's such a long map to even set up an attack. It's just, there's no fighting that happens on these streets on the way up. So you're walking for a good 15 seconds before you're even in position to take a shot at anybody. That's why Numbani has always been a difficult hybrid map to take that first point. We will see what Florida has on their defense. This is a little bit of a different look. Tvic is going to be on the Soldier 76. Meanwhile, Logix will play the Tracer Mantle. A Moira and an Ana are going to be the supports. And of course, the two tanks in Overwatch, Winston and D.Va, will round out that composition.
Stick it together. Name, more dynamic, iconic duo. Winston, D.Va.
Now, Philadelphia's offense is going to be all about this pick from Carpe. I think they want to try to take this high ground and maybe get Carpe set up there. Meanwhile, actually, Carpe is with his Mercy on the backside on this huge flank.
Oops, and Neptuno gets spotted. Down to half HP immediately. That's going to make it a little awkward, but the timing of the push, all of it coming together. It looks like Logix was able to find a gap, however, and dive Boombox in the end. And Tvic, he's playing that very carefully up on balcony. Not really going to give Carpe too many targets to work with, and Carpe forced to give ground.
Now they've evened up, but now Neptuno falling. It'll be difficult for them to continue this push right now with all their healing down. Logix will make sure that they have to go home. Poco going to do the jump jet on his way out. Have to regroup here.
So we will actually have a pretty decent defense set up here from Florida Mayhem. Tvic not really getting to farm up that attack visor too much, but Zebasai nearly going to have that nano. Manitin also making progress, and Logix has almost got his pulse online. So you can see Logix, same kind of position that Carpe was playing from, with that Tracer up on the balcony, top left. He's got his tanks there as well to back him up. Swoosh is going to go leaping in, still trying to prioritize Carpe and keep the pressure up on this sniper.
Yeah, meanwhile, Carpe taking a different angle here. There is the angle he's looking for. He finds Tvic in the backside. Logic's going to give us a pulse bomb onto Boombox, but it will not be enough. That is several members of the Florida Mayhem down, and some progress being made now on the point, as Swoosh will be finally cleaned up as well.
Yeah, Logix is in the back line over towards the Philly spawn. He's actually going way over there. What, does he want to take a duel with Fraggy as he respawns?
Well, he might be spawn camping right now. He might be trying to get
Exactly. He's like, oh, hey, Fraggy. How's it going, bro? Down a half HP. You can't regen HP the way I can.
Yeah, but he can jump away, whereas you can't.
He can. Okay, fine.
She's only tripping through time. That's not jumping up through ledges.
I like.
Gotta be careful,
Breaking,
you don't-
bit of the age of the Aquarius.
You don't want to be dying back here, though, is the problem. This is much longer than he should have lived. Fraggy will be the one to get the killing blow and try to spawn camp me. There it is, right there. Now some progress being made on the point after our Tracer detour.
It was a fun one, the commercial break. Now we get into the real meat of it as Snillo is going to be pushing forward. He's got a great opportunity here perhaps, but he's going to get it done with the pistols anyway. Now with the D-Mech, he could go for the pulse at will. It's not even going to be necessary, it seems. They're just converging Philadelphia Fusion on this Florida Mayhem defense and picking it apart one after another.
Florida went after that fight. They chose it to go in. They're running
Jesus,
this
no.
defense.
What monster? Swoosh. Did he deserve that?
Maybe. I don't know, Swoosh. I mean, Tavik is on this EMP, right? He's on the Sombra looking to try to get towards an EMP, and they chose to be very aggressive in that situation. They forced out a Transcendence, but that's about it. Philadelphia did a great response to that very aggressive defense. Now they're getting a lot of free push onto this cart. They gotta go touch it now. Now it's time to fight.
Yeah, now it's time to fight. You've got the Coalescence leading the way. So that will get that healing out there that will allow Florida Mayhem to try and move in and look for a play. Snillo gonna go for the recall, trying to play it safe. Could go for the stick. Will manage to go for it, but not actually get too much out of it in the end. Manitin will survive.
Oh, a couple of huge kills, though. Carpe out of the fight. There goes Fraggy as well, and this will be 100% deflected now as they have to regroup back in the spawn. And this has bought them the requisite time to get the EMP up for the next fight. No Valkyrie either. Philly doesn't really have a ton to work with. What they do have to work with is time, though. They have a little under 3 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect. And Swoosh is there with the follow-up as well. Excellent work. It was looking a little dicey there for Tavik because the pocket healing was going to be online for Boombox, but Neptune on Boombox both gone. And a great EMP there from the Florida Mayhem.
Be interesting to see if Florida wants to take this corner back because it is a place you can hold. You have to be wary of back caps. Of course, we learned that one yesterday. But they could hold right around this corner since they did win that fight. But I think they want to let them in so that Tavik has more room to work in the back line. You see him already trying to go to the back line. Boombox will be his prime target.
Manitin, does he find the perfect self-destruct? Could launch it in. We'll see. It is going to be Coalescence online again here for Zupe. And the pulse will find Fraggy. He's not invulnerable the way Boombox is when Trance is going. Logix, he had a chance for a double, but he's going to get a single, and that's going to work out just fine with the main tank dead for Philadelphia Fusion. That is definitely going to stall things out.
Now see if they camp that body to make sure no resurrection comes. You might even not resurrect because that spawn is so close anyway, and you'd like to have it in a more impactful moment. Here comes the self-destruct over the top on the retreating members. Manitin finds the way. Boombox and Fraggy fall.
Oh, that was perfect. Right around the corner. Clean as it gets. And well, Carpe finding the kill on Zebasai, but Zebasai, of course, he's got his skates on. He'll be able to get back into this fight quick enough.
Again, it's bought them enough time that Tavik will have another EMP ready. This is requiring the switch that we see from Carpe as he goes over to the McCree. McCree, a great counter to Sombra. Flashbang, headshot later. Boombox has to be weary of this.
He wishes he had it online right now. That would have been another perfect backline squish. Swoosh trying to get in on this, and Boombox gets overwhelmed immediately. Now Swoosh really taking the fight to him, punching him in the face as he goes primal, trying to get back over here towards his healers, and he will just in the nick of time stay alive and give a whole lot of ult charge over to Zupe.
A huge healing output from Moira, and here comes the Lighthouse crossing the streams.
Why not? Oh, stunned right in the line. Swoosh, no.
Feels really bad. Carpe is not just a Widowmaker, he also has a very good McCree, and they will ride this card to what looks like it will be victory. Perhaps pop the Deadeye to see anyone who's trying to come in here and stall this one out. It is just Logix on the card, doing a good job so far, buying a little bit of time.
Yeah, there you go. Deadeye is out. Twick will be able to get that EMP off. Carpe doesn't care, though. He can still hit headshots. He can still do the damage, and Poco finds Logix. That already happened. Sound barrier is thrown in here by Zebasai, trying to buy his team time. A great self-destruct right on top of the point, but the bubble will go down. Not going to matter in the end. Philadelphia Fusion able to dodge the ults.
That's a huge pulse bomb kill onto Zebosai. Not only is that a lot of healing gone, but he's one of the best at stalling out the cart, being so hard to track down. They are pushed off the cart, and Philadelphia, in unceremonious fashion, will take a quick 2-0. You mentioned something there. That's one of the reasons I love running McCree into Sombra. Not just flashbang, right? But there's some heroes who are just better when they don't have abilities. McCree has a somersault, whatever. The flashbang is important, but if you can just hit headshots, it doesn't matter. That's why we see Reapers into Sombra a lot. A lot of heroes don't rely so much on abilities. So good against Sombra.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
It's all Philadelphia so far. They're up 2-0 at the half over the Florida Mayhem. Welcome back, everybody. It's Bucket here at the desk. I got the whole crew once again. It's Sideshow, it's Reinforce, and Sideshow has a smile. Reinforce looks like a sad giant boy. Oh, feels bad.
Just a little cry there.
The beard looks good on you, though. I like that.
It really
Besides
does.
beard? I don't know.
You can rock it. You can rock it. Sideshow, how are you feeling about this series so far?
I'm feeling great, and I'm going to use Sour Patch Kids Thunderstick to express just exactly what happened here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Similar to Reinforce,
Yeah.
it's full of hot air. So,
Oh.
and what happened over the course of that full hold on Volskaya was
Dragon.
just much like this poor little deflating Thunderstick. All of Johnny's hopes and dreams of an upset disappeared.
Johnny, do you believe that? Is it over now for the Florida Mayhem? Can they come back in the second half?
It is over.
Let's show you some examples of why it might not be looking great in the second half for Florida as we host up the replays from game number 1. Now, this, of course, is Volskaya Industries. You mentioned no EQO, but Snillo was just on fire with the tree.
And this was the map that Florida had to win. We've seen Philadelphia Fusion not good at this map at all. I think they're 1-5 so far on Volskaya.
20% win rate, nice.
Yeah, so if you want to get an upset going, you have to win this map. And I mean, they didn't even cap first point bucket. Much due to Carpe.
What happened here?
Well, I expected Saya player to come in swinging with the Widowmaker, right? We've seen him be so good on this hero before. I don't think he even got a single kill on the Carpe, and Carpe meanwhile just landed the headshots, clicked the heads.
Doing the damage,
Yeah.
he gets the vision early, and he just seemed to really have the Saya player on
He was
lockdown.
on point.
And for me, it's not even just the individual skill. When these two teams are setting up for team fights and then trying to make best use of their ultimates or make best use of their picks, the fundamentals are so much better for the Philadelphia Fusion right now. And I expected this match to be closer. I didn't think it was. I mean, I did think it was a bit ridiculous, but I didn't think it was too out there to predict Florida Mayhem with an upset, because I did think this game would be close, and I think Florida are underperforming here.
Yeah, they actually look like they're underperforming, and we have a few examples to demonstrate why. We have some replays of Twig with the Dragon Blade, and sure, I can get that if you're using the Dragon Blade, you want to bait out the Transcendence, right? It's a good trade if you're on the Genji side with the Dragon Blade, of course, but these blades, I mean, he's not even slicing anyone, so...
It's a Dyson Airblade.
I think there is some team synergy issues here with Swoosh and Twig and Manetan on when to dive and when not to dive. So, as you said, we expected this to be a closer matchup, but I mean, this is looking like a 4-0 sweep.
It's
right
looking kind of brutal, and I feel like there's one player that is really, you called him the best player in the game. Today, he's looking like, let's take a look at Carpe throughout this series. It's just been 2 maps, but I feel like he is all over the leaderboard, especially in the headshot column. This guy's ripping faces.
He really is, and he made Saya player look like an absolute newbie. In some sense to the Overwatch League, he is, but Carpe's been here for ages, and he's always putting up these stellar performances.
Yeah, and I think we have to give some credit to Philly, right? Because we talked about EQO being so important, but even without him, they are putting on this masterclass performance, and that's what we need from Philly, right? They can't be reliant on one DPS player in EQO with his shot calling to be the guy to change things. So I'm really impressed by Philly, how they are performing without EQO, because before EQO, they looked good, but not this good.
Now, we saw a lot of the sniper coming out of Carpe so far today. Last time he was on the stage, it went to Game 5 against Boston, and he was mostly on the Sombra, while we saw Snillo running the Tracer. What do we expect to see in the maps moving forward? We still have Ilios and Route 66.
Well, Sombra is so meta, right? So I think we can expect some Sombra to come into play, but then we have Ilios coming up, we have the Ruin stage, and that's where you see a lot of Widowmaker. So much more of the same. Meanwhile, for Philly, I don't really know what we're going to see, honestly. You might do some drastic changes because we've seen Logix and Saya, Tvik and Saya, Logix and Saya, so a lot of different opportunities here.
It's looking a little brutal going into the next 2 maps because Ilios is that Widow v Widow, and also just how good you are at control. But Florida Mayhem have a chance there because it's about kind of individual skill and how you're taking those matchups. So if Saya player turns up, they have a potential of an upset, but Route 66 is really Philadelphia's hometown. Even though Tvik and Logix, they looked a bit better with the Sombra Tracer towards the end of Numbani, I think it's still going to be Philadelphia closing this out.
I'll be honest, guys, when we came into today, I thought we were going to see 3 Game 5s. We got New York playing London a little bit later. We got Houston versus Boston. Can Florida get us to a Game 5? They got to win back-to-back in the second half. We'll see if that comes true. For now, that's going to do it for our halftime coverage. Quick reminder, the All Access Pass is live right now, so go check it out. Download it, get in there, see all of the best ways to watch Overwatch League. That's going to do it for the halftime. We'll see you with Ilios coming up next.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
The damage available. And Boyer has so much ability to be able to just get away from players like Linkser on the Tracer. Now getting very close, building up the ult, and there it is. Oh, okay, the coalescence coming out here. Jae-Hong's just giving the Houston Outlaws a good hosing down. Oh, they're clean indeed. But that push from Seoul was nothing but dirty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Philadelphia Fusion have a 2-0 lead over the Florida Mayhem so far, and I'm going to keep it a buck. The Mayhem got clapped that first half, straight up. So for the next half, we have Ilios and some Route 66 coming up. I'm hoping to see Saya Player and Carpe have that duel. My fingers are still crossed for that. But let's go ahead and get back into the action with our casters, Similar and Hex.
Yeah, what's up, Malik? Thank you, man. Right here, bro. Boom!
You got it!
Dude, we're getting there. All right, I like it.
I'll do the sound effects next time.
Yes, I'll work on it. All right, so, guys, yeah, it is looking a bit grim right now for Florida. They're down 0-2 versus the Philly Fusion. Philly Fusion are looking great right now, though. That's the thing. They haven't really found an answer for Carpe.
Yeah, I mean, and that's always the difficulty, is finding an answer for Carpe. I've been so impressed with Boombox as well. You know, he's part of the United Kingdom World Cup team. Saya Player is going to come back in for Logix, as we will go to Ilios. You want your Widowmaker ace in case you roll onto Ruins there. We've seen that you have to have a Widow onto Ruins, or you're really putting yourself behind the 8-ball, as it were. Philadelphia on the brink of taking this set. You know, if they win Ilios, that'll be 3-0. We will play Route 66, of course, but it's a map that Florida has to have. And then when we go to Route 66, Florida, or Philadelphia rather, has like an 85% win rate on it.
Yeah, Philly, that's Philly turf as far as they're concerned. We are going to be going into Ilios, though. You are right, and we will be moving in. I liked the little blurb earlier as well on Numbani, where Carpe dies 30% less versus Florida Mayhem. It's just like, well, yeah, because they don't really have, you know, Saya Player maybe will put a dent in that stat.
Yeah.
Because he can actually go toe-to-toe with him on the Widow. But apart from that, really, what do Florida have to shut down Carpe? They're throwing swoosh at him, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's been difficult for them to get in. And also, Carpe's been playing a little more passive. You saw it on Volskaya, too. He's just not giving you the shots. He's not really even taking the Widow battle. If you lose that, it's terrible. And he knows if he can stay alive, he's just chunking down tanks, doing all sorts of terrible, terrible damage. We'll see what each team wants to run here on Ilios. I do believe we get to kick it off on your favorite stage, the Murder Hole.
The Murder Hole. Let's go. I just want to see Boops galore. Get the Farah in there. Get the Roadhog so you can hook them into oblivion. Get me that Lucio.
Boops galore sounds like a 1950s cartoon, like Betty Boop.
Yes. All right. I can see that.
Or a James Bond woman.
Well, you could have like the cue for the music as they all go running around the hole, right? And then it's who gets knocked in.
It's very possible.
All right, getting into it, guys. Fraggy Frags against Florida. 57. Okay, dude, that's a pretty decent one. Fraggy stepping it up. He's having a good time.
All right, we're going to see Carpe on the McCree here, too. To Vic on the Sombra. Other than that, pretty similar compositions. A Moira for Florida, though. Interesting.
Wow, so much pressure instantly on a Carpe. Somehow this man is still alive. He loses all of his team. And there we go. Florida couldn't have asked for a better engage.
The swoosh carry. He puts the team on his formidable shoulder. Man, it's in just seeing if there is a bottom to that Murder Hole. He will respawn before he finds one, though, and some cleanup there late. Look at this, super aggressive by swoosh all the way in. Look at this cleave, and all the cleanup is there.
Yeah, that one fight, he's definitely happy about it, cleaving everybody.
He's just happy to not have to try to jump a Widow alone, I think.
But he's an impartial taste.
Oh!
Get out. Get wrecked. Saya trying to make the play versus Carpe. I think not. Carpe looking to bring balance back to the world.
That's very aggressive play from Zebo. Not exactly what they needed there. So again, Zebo falls very early in this fight on the Lucio, which is so important, not only for the healing on the point, but zone control. You can't play around the pit when there's a Lucio on the field. With him out of it, they just get to hang out right near the edge. 39% is where that progress will stop. Now Florida is starting to get some ultimates online, though. An EMP is in the works. And we'll also have Pulse Bomb, and given how fast Moira charges ult, you have to imagine that Coalescence will be available as well.
Yeah. If Zupe can just follow up with those tanks, keep pumping that AoE healing in. But here we go, Snillo, man on a mission. Spotting out Saya, giving him a bit of a tickle. Zupe will barely hang in there, but not for long. Fraggy goes leaping in, and there's the stick right in the middle of everybody. Perfect execution here from Philadelphia Fusion. They don't even have to use their ults. Snillo, he chucks out a pulse, and he's already up to 42%.
Primal Rage came out there from Swoosh, not enough to keep his team into this fight. The only saving grace there was that Zupe died before Coalescence. You can kill a coalescing Moira. It's actually not even that hard. Flashbang will even stop it too, so Carpe trying to get in there and find that correct angle. He's holding on to Deadeye. This is a difficult stage to get a very good Deadeye because this is really the open area, the only open area that you see right there. Could even pop it right now to make sure that the Moira has to play safe.
Exactly. Oh, there we go. Or you can just get the clean headshot on a Saya player. Sound barrier gets thrown out, covering 5 players for Florida Mayhem, trying to get that HP going, but Fraggy leaping around. Pissed off for now, but not for long.
Yeah, that's the Primal Rage. Swoosh had just used his, so that gives Fraggy free reign to pop it just whenever he wants, even if it just feels like going on a trampoline ride there. Tavik still holding on to EMP for this next fight. Now we're at 75%, so it could very well be the last fight of the stage.
Snillo makes no sound. Perfect. Not going to be able to get it, though. Manitin getting top back up again as well. So no follow-up on that pulse, unfortunately, for Philly. Bit of a missed opportunity, but Snillo's going to go ahead and farm up that pulse again so quickly. Already up to 40%. Recall is up, and Carpe, in the meantime, has found Tvik. No EMP for this fight, unfortunately, for the Florida Mayhem, and they're running out of time.
Not a single EMP has come out this game. Player's going to do his best. He will take the uneven duel against Carpe and actually win it, too. So now they're going to try to get back in here. Fraggy out of the mix, but Carpe has been brought back to life.
And there we go, the Deadeye finally getting put to use. He finds a high-value target, gets the follow-up on Swoosh as well. Carpe just running game on these kids right now. And well, that's pretty much going to be it. They're going to trickle in one at a time here for Florida Mayhem, but there isn't a whole lot they can hope to do. Philadelphia Fusion going to lock down the first point on Ilios.
After that first fight where Swoosh crushed everyone, it seemed like Philadelphia decided, you know what's bad is fighting in these closed areas where you give all that cleave damage. They never really went in a hallway again. Got all the open space they needed, and Carpe, always with a healer in his pocket, he's getting damage boosted as well. That's some quality crowd reaction right there. And now we are in the ruins. Let's see if Saya Player is worth his paycheck.
Simple as, Hex, I like it. You cut to the quick. There's Carpe right now. This is going to be his playground. Oh, Fraggy's as well, man. Fraggy has been just on a tear, just constantly launching in. He's getting the support from his backline time and time again. So we're getting into the thick of it now. No time wasted. Saya Player and Carpe both on Widow. No shocker there. And actually just a straight up mirror. Although no, yes, even then, we will have Zevo and we will have Neptune swapping over.
Okay, makes sense. I mean, and one of the issues is that you can't double dive if you're Florida. If Swoosh and Manitin both go in, Zevo and Zube simply have proven that they're not enough to keep each other alive in the backline. They can't do all the work that they need together. They need a tank back there with them. So generally, it's just been a single dive from Swoosh, and that's what happens when you single dive Boombox.
Ooh, buddy. You can just tell Carpe's like, please heal me. Please get me back up. Snillo, well, Tvik not going to let it happen, but we will get the res. In the meantime, however, without that healing, Neptuno occupied elsewhere. Fraggy's going to die. So Snillo now on this point, trying to find those high-value targets, trying to get onto the healers. Boombox, well, Zupe rather, kind of getting caught out there, getting tickled a little bit by Snillo.
Asaya wins the duel too with Carpe, and that's going to be them retreating. Florida will grab this first point, still showing some signs of life here. And now this is a great position if you're the Widow in control of the point. You get to pick the angle of engagement. You want to surprise the opposing Widow as well. He's checking that angle to see if there's going to be a jump hook shot from Carpe. Just waiting and waiting. Philadelphia is still going to run the same composition. Don't want to give up the ghost just yet.
Wow.
So low.
So low. Sub 10 HP. Some good heals coming through there to keep him alive. And now we've got Saya Player. Changed up his angle as well. Looking for it. We'll be able to spot one. It is Carpe.
Oh, beautiful stick. We'll finish off Boombox. Almost unnecessary, though. Boombox at about 10 HP. Will be resurrected immediately. Meanwhile, Snillo will return the favor.
Takes down Zube, but Zube gets rezzed up. Good cover there by Tvik, making sure that his Mercy can get the res off, and so we will have the trance in this fight now. Zube being brought back into it immediately will make the difference. And Philadelphia Fusion finding it a little difficult here to get in. We've got Neptuno with the wings and the chain heals, trying to keep the teammates up, but Fraggy yet again will go down. Snillo, however, will trade, removing Tvik.
Well, Saya Player has his ultimate up, so he knows exactly where his target is. He does hit the shot, but not a headshot. Meanwhile, Saya cleaned up on the ground by Snillo.
Snillo comes out of nowhere, and Snillo now really putting the pressure on this back line, not letting the supports get comfortable. Boombox getting punched in the face by Swoosh. That's uncomfortable.
Looking to get that kill. They're just going to reset right now. Zube got the late kill onto Snillo there. Now one fight away from Florida, tying up Ilios here. They had to burn most everything that they had going through this. Only a self-destruct available, but Philadelphia will also have a Primal Rage, so this fight should go on for a while unless something really odd happens to Fraggy.
He has been dying a little bit too often there. Usually the first to go for Philadelphia Fusion. Kind of makes you wonder if they need to change up the order. Trades back and forth. There will be no res possible, but then Tvik finds Neptuno as well. Both Mercy's dead, and well, in the meantime, nobody's on the point.
Neptuno and Boombox died early there, so it was probably going to be Florida's anyway. That's not exactly how you want to go out with a Primal Rage active on Fraggy. Poco tried to get to the point, but it can be a little bit wonky as far as how the point detects verticality sometimes. So if you're 5 feet above the point, you're not really on the point. That one will go over. And that was the map that Florida had to win. Saya held his own against Carpe. In fact, probably won that duel. There were very few interactions between the two, but he got those headshots. A team effort to really neutralize Carpe. And now Florida is still in this. And we will head to the Lighthouse.
It's going to be on these guys now. Can Philadelphia Fusion just close it, end this series here? Or will we have a chance for Florida Mayhem to run it back, get a 5 mapper on our hands?
So Florida's got a really bad record on Route 66, but that's pre-Saya player, and that could change everything for them. So if they win this map, this series is not even close to over.
Zube just trying to work up to that coalescence as quickly as possible. He's got the big lighthouse to serve as inspiration for his little lighthouse. So, a little bit of the poke here as the tanks go launching up onto the balcony. Swoosh under pressure, but Saya player will find Carpe. That McCree eliminated. It's going to create a lot of room here for Florida Mayhem to work, although Zebasai yet again dying early.
It just should not be happening the way it's happening. They did lose Zebo. They will grab first control of the point. Carpe is back into the mix now, though. They have to be wary of this.
Saya trying to find a way in here.
Just gotta wait for that Discord to go away.
And there we go. Contest comes in at the last second there for Philadelphia. They will find Carpe. Carpe will be able to get the DMAC onto Maniton, one of the tanks out of the fight. Saya player gonna take some damage to the face, needs to back off and top up. And in the meantime, Zebo has found a boom. Carpe gonna go take a bath.
Saya is a brave tracer. He just went in on a McCree staring dead at him with 2 supports on him and lives to tell the tale. Doesn't get the kill, but just the fact he's alive is an inspiration. However, Philadelphia has flipped it back over and they are banking ultimates. Nearly 6 check marks across the board. And look at this camp. No EQO, no problem. We've got Snillo.
Yeah, Saya's got to work on his camouflage there. A cardboard box, I hear, is more effective than trying to hide in the bush.
Yeah, I mean, I heard there's this really terrible game where all you do is hide in bushes.
And boxes.
And boxes. No, the box game's good.
Where is Carpe going to find his next headshot? There was one. Fraggy dropping down to half. Coalescence is out. Fraggy is gone. Maniton there to chip in on that one. And now, well, once again, losing that tank could cause difficulties here for Philadelphia Fusion. Carpe not quite finding his targets. There it is. Zupe takes one step out too far in the open, instantly deleted.
Well, it's really nice from them there to be able to get that Deadeye activated and then send your tanks in to disrupt, to push people out of the position they want to be in, to send them into the sight lines. Is one of the really most satisfying combos, if you can pull it off in the game, is you start running the Deadeye, then you get a Primal Rage, you just start knocking targets into the air. It's like shooting clay pigeons.
Oh, were you trying to hide? No. Take a look. Get some sun.
No, meet McCree. He's a good friend of mine.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Fraggy right now looking to get Maniton off. No, the boost is up, and so he's not going to be able to do it. I like it, though. Fraggy, aggressive tank. That's his style. And Tvik now getting in here into the thick of things. He's got the EMP. If he can find those healers, he'll be more than happy. But Boombox and Neptuno are way out of harm's way. And Tvik not going to catch him. So there is a chance here still for Philadelphia Fusion to hang in there.
Yeah, they're back in it. They bring Carpe back in it too. A beautiful self-destruct goes up into the top and will fall down. Buys them time on the point. And now they're at 95% and rising. However, during that fight, flipped over for Florida.
Oh, sick flashbang shot there from Carpe. We'll get the fadeaway, and now can Florida Mayhem hang in here as the rest of Philadelphia Fusion will start pushing onto the point. Maniton just gonna get a fresh mech, and well, Carpe helping out. Another kill, Saya player out of it. Another Deadeye online so quick, and hey, you got nowhere to hide. You can't go out in the open, and then the rest of Philadelphia Fusion just looking to punish Fraggy. Well, going to be able to pick up the kill on Swoosh.
They tried it again. What they did last time is the same. They had Carpe lining up that Deadeye, then Poco going in there to run people into it. It did not work out entirely for them, but now they're getting all the kills that they need. Maniton and Zebo down. Desperation time for Florida.
Yeah, Side player just goes launching in there. He will be able to find the stick on Carpe. Carpe out of it.
Rezzed.
But instantly brought back in, and they have the point now, Philadelphia Fusion. It's on Florida Mayhem now. Tvik, he's in here. He's in Viz. He'll get caught, though. And well, now it's on the rest of them, running in one after another. Zebasai and Swoosh working together, and then dead together. Snillo with the pulse. Finds that kill. T-Mac on Maniton immediately as well, and Philadelphia Fusion look like they're gonna win this series handily. It's down to the remaining 2 players here for Florida Mayhem to try to make the magic happen. Tvik not gonna be able to survive for long, and will not make it back to the point in time. Philadelphia Fusion, the 3-0 victory over the Florida Mayhem.
A 15-player kill streak there for Snillo. What an embarrassment of riches Philadelphia has in that DPS role. When you're talking about maybe the third best DPS is a guy like Shadowburn, you're doing all right. So players available on the roster today, 3-0 so far for Philadelphia as they look to bounce back from a tough loss to Boston recently. They will get on the board this week.
Yeah, they are actually just making progress, Philly. That's what we expect from them, one of the better teams right now in the league. Bit of the replay there. Unfortunately, it was really the Snillo show on top of the Carpe show. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have the fourth map between the Philly Fusion and the Florida Mayhem.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
This is Joe Meister from the Philly Fusion. Welcome to the Fusion House. When I first arrived here, I was pretty excited. We're a pretty international team. We have about 10 different nationalities living in the house. It's a lot of different languages, lots of different cultures. So this is the bigger of the two PC rooms. Just an average day in the Fusion House. We're just hanging out, playing some games. Here we have the weight room. We've got our famous Philly figures on the wall here. And we have Poco and Fraggy in a pretty intense game of ping pong.
I think we mostly connect through Overwatch. It's like the unified language, I guess. I think living with all teammates, I feel like it's an advantage. You get a lot more synergy faster. And we have our Koreans here. Say hello.
Hello.
Got Dayfly, got Hotpa, Sado. They're eating some noodles. We got special desk here. The desk are electronic, so you can adjust them.
3 weeks ago, I brought up the water slide idea to Tucker, and he seemed on with it.
From Treehouse?
Yeah. Like, have you guys gone up there yet?
Why would we go up there?
Okay, that's my point, though.
I feel the hardest bit of the season's over for us to start because we have to build our team synergy and like in-game. So it's a lot of like stress and like extra work. But now we have time to experience something almost surreal. It's pretty nice.
We're back. Welcome, guys. Yes, I'm glad to see, Poco and Fraggy practicing hard because, that's my table. Last time we were there, I dominated all comers. So, guys, I'm glad to see you practicing. It's good. Keep on top of it.
Yeah, you're on the ping pong. I got the bags game out back, the board of the bean bags. I was in a league. I will take all comers in that game. I will crush on it. Anyone come at me. That's what we always do in the parking lot up in Milwaukee out there. Logix is coming in for Tavik. And that is expected on Route 66. Tracer Widow, Tracer Widow, Tracer Widow. That's all you really want to run here. You can experiment with the Sombra. It works out sometimes. I think Tracer Widow is more consistent. We saw Saya crush it on this map earlier. And look, coming into this, 87% win rate for Philadelphia on Route 66. 14% for Florida on Route 66 is a win rate. That's not good. It's not a big number. No mathematician. But again,
there's a big difference there.
And that was pre-Saya player. Don't make me try to do that math quickly. That's not going to be 63. Close enough.
I'll ask you to write it.
73.
That'll be better.
73. It was 73. I'm so terrible. All right. So this is what we want to see out of Florida here is can they improve that win rate now that they have the proper composition to be able to run here? Because you definitely want to run. It's not like Tavik can't run a Tracer, but it's just not Logix's Tracer, right? And it's not like Logix can't play Widow, but I think Sai is actually, going to be their Widow player moving forward. So that's what I want to see out of Florida. Even though the set is already decided, every map matters when it comes down to differential and getting into the playoffs. So of course, Philly still wants to give their best out here because they are always going to be on the cusp of getting into those Stage 3 playoffs.
Yeah, exactly right. They are one of those playoff potential teams. And so every map for them when it comes down to the finish line, Florida Mayhem, still a chance here for them to shake out some kinks. It's different in scrims than it is in live matches. So this is the time now to really try and focus in on the details and get something to work on for the rest of the week going into week 2 of Stage 3.
Yeah, we'll see what the defense has in store for us as we are into the Kenyan Panorama Diner over there.
Goodbye, Carpe.
There goes Carpe. It's a fast reset right there.
that's. She doesn't sound like, yeah. Diva sounds better going off the cliffs.
You freaking Diva so much. Yeah, well, you've been maining 76 lately, so I get it.
Yeah. No, Divas. D-Matrix.
Oh, dude. Old D-Matrix, though. Just shut it down. You might as well delete 76 from the game at that point. All right, offensively, coming out of spawn, Logic's actually going to be on the McCree. This is not too far out of line from what we saw them run last time, actually. You expected a Tracer, and you might see that switch come on, but they're just going to go long-range hit scan. McCree and Widowmaker is what Florida likes to run here, and it all comes down to Carpe versus Saya player.
A lot of it. Logic's going to be there to help ferry along Zebo and Zupe, the double Zs. It's time for them to wake up. They've been going to sleep a bit too often here.
It wasn't the grapple he was looking for there. Caught mostly rock in his view.
Oh, that's a bit more tasty. Bit of a missed opportunity, unfortunately. Neptuno instantly rezzing right back up or regaining that HP. And man, Philadelphia Fusion playing way far back. Snillo has shown his hand. Now they know where he's coming from. There's the trade. Saya play with the headshot on Neptuno, but they are able to get that res going on Logix. And so a bit of an advantage now for Florida Mayhem.
That's a huge trade. You'll take that trade all day because you have the resurrection and Mercy can't resurrect herself. Has to wait for that respawn there. Now they're going to get a little bit of progress here. Logic's going to be the close quarters deal. Make sure that all the flankers are kept at bay off of his supports. You see him looking around, making sure there's no Snillo lurking.
It's tough. Will Carpe find an angle to work with here? Exactly. Logic's making sure that life is going to be a little bit difficult here for the sniper. Philadelphia not quite able to contest. There's 3 minutes left, and finally they're going to poke forward, start taking a bit of a fight, still looking for these kills. Neither team going to find one until point blank. Carpe headshot on Logix to start things off.
That was ridiculous. That was a somersaulting Logix in there. He's trying to roll forward to get position for the flashbang and get the kill there, but one shot, one kill for Carpe. Add another there. There goes Saya, and Philadelphia playing very passive until they see the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity. Now they're completely reset up. All that progress means nothing at this point.
I like that aggression from Carpe. Yeah, we're going to get it from Carpe's perspective by the looks of it. And there you go. Deleted. Get out, Logix.
That's ridiculous. Nice play there from Carpe. He's going to be able to pop his ultimate whenever he feels the need to. He does feel the need now. Gonna have to bail out of here as Manathan sends his self-destruct, creates a lot of room. Manathan dies out of mech though. Nice play from Poco to take out this opposing number.
And Neptuno can get the res off on Carpe if he wants. Not gonna be the case. The Zebasai is gonna go for Zupe. Snillo getting caught out in the open by Saya player.
Oh, Snillo thought he was being real clever. He was waiting for the bait, waiting for the resurrection to come in. Did not know that Saya was just gonna pop him right in the head there, and that is a huge loss. They're not gonna be out into this fight. They're gonna have to fight this 5v6 because Florida's gonna press the issue.
Yeah, Boobox can start hitting some headshots, so that could be tasty. Get that Discord orb out there, but Saya player wins the duel versus Carpe, and now you don't really have a whole lot to work with here, Philly. You're still in another 5v6, and well, it's only gonna get worse from here. Manathan goes on a tear with the help of Swoosh. And it's looking like Florida Mayhem will succeed in picking up this first point.
Yeah, this one is over. Meanwhile, Logix has gone over to his signature tracer, harassing Carpe. Will get a late kill onto Poco's out of mech, so a couple of kills. But in Overwatch, the pace of the card is set by antiquated door technology.
Yeah.
And that door will take a while to open. Meanwhile, Florida's going to try to get just a couple picks here. They will eventually have to go back for the payload, but taking the positioning here can be very good. Just you make them stagger. And it also makes them think twice about trying to come through main. Most teams don't even bother with it anymore, especially given the timing of those deaths. They are going to have to come down through bottom right.
Yeah, Fraggy takes a bullet to the head as well while they get through there. Snillo in the back line could potentially find Saya player, but it's Zupe who's got a bit of an awareness going. Just chucking orbs into the back. They know that he's around there, it seems. Saya player not going to be able to hang around on the rooftop. He's actually getting tased, getting kept up by Zebasai though. Solid heals, but in the meantime, Boombox has found Logix.
Well, I think Logix found Boombox, and Boombox put him back to spawn. It's very likely how those engagements happen. A couple of supports will fall there. Boombox and Zupe both falling where their resurrections here. Zebo prefers to bring up Logix. Meanwhile, Neptuno has brought Boombox back up, only to die again.
Yeah, they need to get in here. Fraggy got to contest on that point. Swoosh has been keeping a high priority on the payload. I like that from him. Every meter matters here when you're on the offense. Always try to keep a body on that payload and sneak those meters through.
And we've seen some Route 66s end around this area, so you're absolutely right. 20 meters could be the difference between winning the map or losing it right now. Carpe and Saya will continue to engage on the battle. Carpe is going to wait this one out as much as possible, at least until he gets his own infra sight. Trying to all battle over the rooftops right now.
Yeah, again, Saya launching himself up there bodily. Doesn't find the shot. Logix, however, hungry for a target here. Just gonna go ahead and be patient.
Take your push.
Keep getting that push. Keep your eyes on the prize, which is the payload. Trans gets forced out here by Boombox. Logix going for the stick. Not gonna connect, unfortunately for him. But he's still alive, and so he can do this the old-fashioned way. As Boombox gets launched around like a football.
Pull!
That was brutal. Neptuno, though, what a play. Gets the res, but opens himself up to a shot from Saya player. At Philadelphia Fusion right now, they are trying to fight back, but it's Florida Mayhem who are controlling the space, and Saya player right now is just running game.
They're just taking advantage of every single opportunity. Yes, that's a gutsy res. Maybe if it works out, it's a hero play, but you're putting yourself right in a huge sight line, and you're immobile during that time, and despite having a panic button to kind of flip around and maybe dodge a headshot, you're not going to dodge a Widow headshot there. Great execution there from Florida to take advantage of what Philadelphia was giving them, the small mistakes Philadelphia has made. One more fight here on the point before second.
Yes, there it is. Perfection. We will get the res. Angle not quite there. So close for Saya to get the punish on the res as well, but not meant to be, and they will be falling back. Philadelphia Fusion with their tanks dead have to give ground. Look for a different setup here.
It'd be interesting to see if Logix goes over to a McCree. A lot of teams have favored running a McCree in this back point. Maybe you move Saya over to a McCree or a Tracer. McCree Tracer has been the flavor of the day on offenses and defenses here and sometimes, and I don't really think that Florida has the Genji on their team to be able to rotate it in.
This whole time there's been a duel going on between Logix and Snillo. Logix trying to get in on that high ground, but Snillo holding him back. Exactly. The only thing is that Logix just keeps getting the Harmony Orb, so he's just staying alive, keeps taking these fights, forcing Snillo back.
Well, Snillo has shown that he loves to do these giant flanks. You saw on Numbani, he was all the way behind the team looking for pulse bombs, things of those nature. That's why you have to watch this Doric bit. Logix do so with that extra healing. He's never really going to be in trouble. Is that a Primal pop? Fraggy pops Primal just to stay alive and get out.
Yeah,
it
he's
seems
throwing
like
those primals in there a lot. Really.
Wires seem to be crossed because Fraggy, like, he's aggressive, yes, but generally he seems aggressive with him. But he's been jumping in and then jumping out alone several times during this match.
Yeah, primals just getting thrown in. Not going to get the stick, but they're doing the damage. They're doing the hurt. Fraggy still alive. Swoosh going primal. as well, just leaping all over the place, making a mess of things as Florida Mayhem find another 3 kills.
Making a mess as Saya cleans up. That is several different headshots from Saya players. He had the infra sight up, makes his job that much easier. Carpe still on this Widow as they are nearing the final push here on the cart. Got to come out and contest this one. Zabo goes down early to Boombox. What a critical kill.
Could make all the difference as we do have Zupe going for the trance. We will have Boombox throwing his in as well. Manitou with the DMAC on Poco, but they're not going to be able to pick up that kill on Poco. Self-destruct out in the open, and Poco eventually going down. And this is definitely looking good as Carpe can't make it out in time.
Nice finish there from Florida. I mentioned yesterday when we were casting that Nevix is one of the most underrated and consistent divas in the league. He's got to start putting Manitou into that conversation as well. Never has these giant, enormous plays. Gets a couple self-destructs here and there, but it's not like, oh my god, this is the god of self-destructs. But he's consistent on defense, consistent on offense. It always helps out your Widowmaker Saya player.
Yeah, okay.
That's awesome. He gets booped in there. Just uses it like, oh, it's like a free grapple.
Yeah.
They're not going to expect this angle. I'll just pop around this corner and surprise.
Thanks for the help.
You know, you got the Saya surprise.
Oh, Saya dominated, man. 10 final blows versus Carpe's 4. I mean, he definitely came out ahead in terms of the Widow duel.
And that's such a huge number in the Widow duel, too. You're expecting to get 1 shots, 1 kills. I mean, doing just pure damage, it's helpful, I guess, but you need to be hitting headshots and finishing off kills. You should be lighting up kill feeds.
He's certainly taking it over. Carpe died 7 times versus Saya players 2 deaths as well. So, I mean, I like it. You know, on the Numbani we had that stat where Carpe just wasn't dying that much. Well, you know, Saya player decided to dust his hands real quick, take care of that.
Yeah, if Carpe is going to play passively, which he did on Volsky, not so much this map though, but then you have to play more aggro if you want to find the angles, if you want to surprise them and get that there. So really nice duel there. Saya player is a great addition to this team. I think the more time they have to gel together and run their specific compositions, the better they'll look. That's why I mentioned, yes, they have a bad record on Route 66, but that was, you know, pre-Saya era.
Pre-Saya era.
Pre-Saya. I was going to try to be clever, but then I realized I'm not
dinosaurs
clever.
should be
Yeah,
roaming
exactly.
around. Well, we're here, Hex, so there are a few. Philadelphia Fusion, they've won the series. Now it's about them getting the final push through, tying it up 3-3 here on the map. As Fraggy takes point, just going ahead for the quick check. No hacked packs, and so that'll give him some information.
That's exactly what he's looking for, making sure there's no Sombra on the field. A hack pack there would, of course, give it away. Fraggy gonna show his backside, take a bullet into it, and Carpe leans out a little too far. Should be able to get this res, but this is great, the re-engagement onto it so they can't res. Florida's been doing such a good job of this lately.
Yeah, really trying to use the body as bait, get in there, but unfortunately for that Manitou, he gets kind of caught in the tunnel there, not able to get out.
But see, the thing is, when you know that a team's going to camp a body, you can expect it and respond to it the way Philadelphia did there, and they end up winning that fight because they know that's kind of the style of Florida lately, to come in off of those picks and make sure that it can't happen, or the resurrection. Boombox, you know, the first couple times I saw him just crushing people with volleys, it was luck, but he does it so consistently, with the best damage dealing Zens in the league.
Let's get into it here. We're getting down to the final few meters before this first point. Boombox perspective, just chucking orbs out. Now we swap over to Carpe, see if he can come alive here towards the end and actually hit some headshots, not finding those targets. And again, Saya player gets the drop on him. Carpe, this is where it starts getting tilt-worthy. Nothing really seems to be working for him.
The Widow angles in Stage 3 have been absolutely bonkers. If you look at Junkertown and here to an extent as well, Widows are going behind teams. No one expects a Widow behind them, and they're getting headshot after headshot. You saw it on the other side of things. Carpe did the exact same angle, and now you have to just be worried about Widow being everywhere. It's not necessarily, oh, she's in back. No, she's behind us. No, she's in your house with a sniper rifle.
That's a terrifying idea right there.
I mean, it wouldn't even be the gun that would scare me because I'm American, but it'd be the blue skin.
Yeah,
the blue skin would be terrifying to find in my house.
It'd be freaky, especially with all the references to spiders and venom.
I'm arachnophobic. Leave me alone. Neptune and Boombox will fall early in this fight, so Florida's defense continues to come alive. Couple of
God. Saya again!
Saya surprise.
Yeah, that's sick.
This is a great defense. Only 90 seconds remain for the offense of the Philadelphia Fusion. Carpe is going to try to equalize this fight. He's gotten the worst end of it thus far. As Semler tries to dream of diva screams.
No, I don't. I just, savor it.
Just beautiful. All right, so if Carpe can't win this Widow battle, I mean, maybe switch to McCree or something. I mean, you stay on the Widow, of course. I only say that half jokingly. But he's going to have Infrasight against Saya, so he knows where he is. Saya has no idea where Carpe is, and so he's just gonna hang out by the dumpster.
He's gonna chill, man, do his Oscar impression. Shots in, and there we go. Snillo, that's one way to do it. Get that pulse. Zebo, however, will be able to get the res off. I love it. Manatin there to cover him with the D-Matrix, make sure he can't get picked, and that's gonna force Fraggy, who was trying to get in there to take advantage of it. He gets punished. Self-destruct is down for Poco. Not gonna find any kills, but he should be able to get that rematch going for himself.
It's a very late self-destruct. Boombox will take down Logix, who probably tried to fight him and decides that's not the right target he wants. Swoosh goes down late too, so oddly enough, Philadelphia pulling this back.
Yeah, they are bringing it back into this. Manatin has got that self-destruct, so he can hang around on this point for a while longer, try and delay just a little bit more as Poco gets D-Max yet again. Well, now it's Saya player who can see through walls, and that is definitely not going to help Carpe. Yep, sure enough, the body block. The body block, are you kidding me, from Boombox?
Trying to get in here now, trying to clip some ankles here. Carpe gets a kill onto Zebo's side. That might be the one.
Oh my God.
Saya over the top.
What is that? That is so sick. That's just making a statement. Carpe, get out. Philadelphia, they will pick up the first point by the skin of their teeth, but that has got to be one of the sickest Widow plays we've seen so far.
Some absolute fireworks. Only a little over 2 minutes to push all the way through here as we take you on a tour of the winding roads of Route 66. We're going to be up on Zed's garage now. Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
I'm out. Fraggy now just chilling. He's got the primal. He's definitely not dead. They're looking to make Swoosh very dead, but Swoosh going to hang in there. He's got Zebasai to pocket him. And Logix will find Snillo, still trying to keep an eye here on Saya player as he is going to be hunting for this man in question, Carpe, but it's going to be Logix putting on the pressure here, forcing Carpe out into awkward spots.
Well, we've given Saya a ton of credit in this Widow duel, and we should, but Carpe has been under constant pressure from Logix on the ground, never comfortable over there. Hits a huge shot, though, and now Philadelphia not only winning fights, but banking ultimates in this situation, too. It is all orange in the kill feed. They clean up the entirety of the team, and look at this one. A whole six-pack lined up for the Philadelphia ultimate bars.
Yeah, now Neptune is going to get the Falco, be the last one. It's going to be pretty close. Going to be time to crack him open here and start having some fun. Snillo, going to be keeping an eye on him with that pulse. And Carpe going to wait perhaps for the fight to start before getting that Infrasight going.
I think Snillo was hoping that they were going to come down bottom right. Neptuno, the bloodthirsty support himself, takes down Zebo's side. Neptuno, healing is only his secondary option. He would rather have that blaster out.
It's a nice stick onto Fraggy, but Carpe will be there. Both Winstons out of the fight now. Snillo maintaining the presence on the point. Needs to be careful though, yep, not to take a bullet to the back of the head as Saya player launches himself yet again bodily into the air. So long as they stay on that payload, they are making progress. Philadelphia Fusion getting very close, and it's contested at 0.15 of a meter left, but it is definitely going to be it.
Boombox on the cleanup. He still has his Transcend. Philadelphia threw everything they had at that one. And here's Neptuno. He's got Valkyrie. He's got the pistol. And that's a dead Zebasai.
Battle Mercy at its finest. Sick reactions there.
I mean, you remember stage one when Mercy was in every single meta, right? Valkyrie, super strong resurrection there. Neptuno had so many kills on his blaster that he's just taking it over.
Yeah, for him, it's just like, oh, I have infinite ammo. Great. That's all I need.
I can fly. I'm a flying pistol.
Okay, Jack. Let's get into it now. Snillo, he's got that angle, looking for that high ground. Kind of giving it away. Not sure if he exactly realizes the side player's hanging around on the high ground there on the left side. But hey, gonna go ahead and pressure him. Why not? Attempting to stick, I like it.
Yeah, that spelt frame of Widow and Mercy, so hard to stick in these situations. Sometimes you just have to throw out the wall and hope that they don't get out of there on time. Boombox will bust out his Transcend as they continue to try to push this one through, and will gain them some access.
Yeah, keeping them typed up. But side player, if you can hit headshots, doesn't matter if you're transing or not, you're gonna be dead. They are getting forced back. Oh, what a self-destruct coming in from Manatin.
Yeah, I don't know if they just didn't call it or whatever happened there, because Neptuno should have been able to get away with Guardian Angel. Everyone else was in safe spots, so he could have just found one of his teammates, perhaps hiding from the bomb, hid them from Neptuno, and you leave your Mercy out to dry like that. 30 seconds remain. We will have Valkyrie, we will have a self-destruct from Poco, who made his name on his iconic self-destruct, so we'll see if he can find one here. Not the easiest point to land a good one, a lot of cargo to hide behind.
Great collapse on the Carpe, though. Fantastic work there. Logix and Swoosh working together as a duo. Swoosh has got the primal, so he doesn't care that he drops low on HP. Now could even just go ahead and just continue to take the fight, try to make pace to Boombox, and he does. Neptuno gone as well. Saya player going off right now. It's looking fantastic here for Florida Mayhem to hold deny Philadelphia Fusion. The clean sweep, the 4-0.
That might have been a Valkyrie Neptuno as well when he got that shot. A huge kill there to solidify the defense. Saya in this great position behind the American Cargo. Trying to clean this one up. Still some people alive. He's got the angle on the Mercy again. Just misses.
But again, Swoosh started things off. Boombox out of it. Neptuno is still alive and will get the res off. His side player doesn't even care. Just charging straight in bodily. Looking for the body shot. Not going to get it. Just barely hanging in here by a thread. Carpe, heal yourself.
Healing is dishonorable in that duel that they had going there. Come on, fight me without your heals. A Transcend comes off of the card for Boombox because he does that much damage back into it. And now Philadelphia continues to push. They get the first couple of kills in this brawl.
And again, the flanking Widow. This is actually getting a bit ridiculous.
I mean, well, it's getting a little bit useless at this point. So far away, he's going to be behind the entire team. The rest of his team's just waiting to come out here, but they've got a fraggy surprise waiting up top. Got to get out here at some point in time. Sai getting back in position. They do not expect it!
There it is. They have no idea. Neptuno has no idea. They're flipping out. 2 kills now for Sai player. He'll be able to just completely cut the legs out from under Philadelphia Fusion, and now Philly, the pressure is on. Can they deliver? No! Denied the res, and it's over. Florida Mayhem on the back of Saya player.
I'm in your backline killing all your dudes. Saya surprise. That is so fun to watch. With Saya on this team, Route 66 is now becoming a strength for Florida as they go forward, as they work him into the roster and get some of their other players in. Florida still continuing to improve. That said, Philadelphia still trying to keep themselves in the hunt after a great Stage 2 playoffs. They want to go back to Stage 3 and actually take home one of those titles. They will win the series 3-1.
Closing it down handily, but I'm glad we got to see a bit of a demonstration there of what Sai is capable of and perhaps of what is to come here for Florida Mayhem as they have more time to work together, to gel as a unit. And while flanking Widow, it's a thing. Saya player, what a beast. Yeah, Carpe can't be feeling too happy about that Route 66. He really wasn't able to get his game going whatsoever.
And they played around the flanking Widow too. He's in the back line, so everyone's waiting. They're waiting to come out just to contest for the last second because he needs to be in that position. They waited until the 25th hour to come out there and deal with it. Florida still improving. Philadelphia still the team that we knew they were. Look forward to these guys playing throughout the stage.
I'm looking forward to more plays like this one right here. Bonkers, Saya player. What a monster.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
back, everyone. This is Zoe, and I'm joined by Snillo from the Philadelphia Fusion. Please give it up for him and his team, who just defeated the Mayhem in a convincing fashion, nonetheless. Now, one thing your team certainly doesn't lack is amazing tracers. Talk a little bit about your own tracer playstyle and how it differentiates your tracer from the rest of the teams.
I think I play a bit more sneaky, try and go for the enemy backline a bit more, and I have good synergy with Fraggy, so it works out pretty well most of the time.
How does this good synergy show in-game?
I don't know, we're usually on the same target, both are like hiding behind, and then we collapse at the same time.
All right, now the performance against the Mayhem was a pretty darn one-sided for you guys. You have a history with the majority of their team. You played with them in previous teams. Does that make it easier for you to go up against them or harder?
I would say harder actually, but it's always fun to play against them. There's like no hard feelings or anything, so it's all fun.
Okay, speaking of fun, you may be able to play with the Swedes again later this year in the Overwatch World Cup. You reckon you're gonna get that slot over Reinforce?
I did the meme walkout and they do meme walkouts, so I fit in the team, I think.
All right, Johnny, you gotta work on your walkouts. That's what I'm hearing from Snillo here. Thank you so much for joining me for a quick chat. We're now heading over to the desk to break down the game.
All right, thank you so much, Zoe. Johnny, gonna have to fight for that spot. You gotta step up your walkout game, buddy.
I'm sitting down.
Yeah, just sitting down
He's
everywhere.
6'7", unless he's sitting. All right, let's get into this match here, guys. Game 3 started to look up for the Florida Mayhem. It was Philly that walked away with Ilios, but let's take a moment and look back at some of these key points for the Florida Mayhem, because Johnny, you said, why didn't they play like this the entire time after watching them close out Route 66?
Yeah, I mean, Route 66, with Saya player's performance, that was what I expected to come out right off the gate, because Philly, not a very good Volskaya team, a lot of Widowmaker involved, but Saya player didn't turn up on Volskaya Industries. Instead, he turned up on Route 66 when he was already lost. So, not really sure what's going on with Florida, if Saya player is a super streaky player. What's going on?
Yeah, well, he also turned up on Ilios Ruins, and I like the fact that Florida Mayhem went towards this Sombra Tracer on the other two stages of Ilios, but they weren't quite able to get it together. Carpe played the McCree both times, really good against both of those kind of flanky heroes, especially because when you're running the Sombra, when you're running the Tracer, you have to play a little slower, and that gives a bit more space for the McCree, and so Carpe was playing really well over the course of Ilios.
Carpe was crushing on that McCree. So fun to watch basically any hit scan hero. Let's talk about Game 4, though, because if you're a Florida Mayhem fan like the guy that drove 2,048 miles to get here, you gotta be proud. This is the potential of your team moving forward.
I mean, if we started this series with this Route 66 map, it would have been a completely different story, at least from the viewer's point of view and certainly us analysts' point of view. This was a pretty even match, and it was very exciting to watch, just to see how Saya player had a back and forth in between Carpe, and just team chemistry overall for Florida Mayhem looked a lot more on the point. So much more exciting match.
And this is one of the best moments of the game for me. Saya player constantly behind Carpe, the assassin sniper.
He really was. He was finding all of these weird off angles. I think you said at the beginning they view him as more of a creative Widowmaker, and this is what we like to see. He's really making the plays, but again, wasn't really able to do that on the first map where we thought he might have a chance at really pulling his team into the lead early on. So they've got to work on a couple of issues.
Pretty impressive stuff today coming in so far from the Philadelphia Fusion, though. They walk away with a 3-1 victory. Very impressive first two maps, and it's time to crown our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. It's got to be Carpe, right? He shut things down early on Volskaya. You saw him on Numbani, and then really was the difference maker on Ilios.
Yes, I think he set the pace of this series very early on by completely shutting down everything the Florida Mayhem were aiming to achieve. Had a good performance on Numbani, comes over on McCree. It was really only Route 66 where Saya player got the better end of it.
I mean, predicting Carpe to be the player of the match is a safer prediction than actually predicting Philly to win. So, yes, I mean, Carpe, every time Philly plays, this is the guy to watch out for. Another dominant performance here today.
Very impressive stuff. Sideshow, overall thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I think this is a great start to the day for today, and it's Prediction Saturday, right? I think it would be reasonable to give predictions for all of these games because they look pretty close. But it's not a great start for you, Johnny, honestly. Like that's a little bit poor. You looked a little depressed when they got full health there over on map 1. Are you going to be able to pick it up for Boston?
Yeah,
Houston?
I'm just getting started here. You know, I got the fans with me. You'll see.
Sad Johnny versus Snobby Sideshow. I like this. It's going to be a fun day here. It's Saturday. Guys, make some noise if you're enjoying the show so far. That's going to do it for our first match of the day, but when we come back, we got a very tough Houston Outlaw squad who is taking on the Boston Uprising that took out Philly earlier in the week. We'll be right back.
Double